Hello and welcome on Monday, the 7th of July, to a special edition of Newsround in a way that I had probably, of course, zero desire to record, probably in a way, and I'd understand completely now at this time, ladies and gents, if you thought I'm just steering away from everything Liverpool related because of sort of the pain, the feelings, the bit it describes. But I'd also understand if you were someone who just wanted to, rather than talk, listen a bit, just hear something different. If that gives any healing, crumb of comfort, then it's a job done for me. And I'm Dave Davis, coming to you from Edinburgh. I know Reds all around the world, wherever you are, we've only really got one focus at the moment, haven't we? One thing that is dominating our thoughts, and that is, ever since Thursday, the passing of Diogo Jota and Andre Silva, and how we're still feeling about that, how we're still trying to process that as well. And the one thing I'll start by saying is, we all know Reds. We're all part of a Red family. We'll have mates at Anfield Index. We'll have people we talk to, joke with, whatever it may be. Check in on them. Speak to them. Some will be processing it better than others. There'll be people who have almost withdrawn from the situation. You should really check on them to sort of speak, see if you can provide any comfort to them. There'll be others who I get that are thinking various things. Let's put it that way. We'll all be at different stages. We'll all be processing it differently. But in Newsround, I know quite a few people had messaged us at Anfield Index saying, do think a bit of different content or talking about certain things would help. So that is what we're trying to do. But I understand if this is not for you, you completely will turn off at that point. I would get that completely. But a couple of things to really call out, that in such tragic circumstances that no one wanted, that everyone is, there's no script, there's no rule book on how to act for this. I do think in the worst possible circumstances, the club have done the best they can. And on the screen, if you can see that there, the club has announced the physical book of condolence following the devastating passing of Diogo Jota and Andre Silva will remain open to be signed for at least another 48 hours. And supports the members of public, as it says, can sign the book at Anfield. So it's between, if you are going down, 9 a.m. and 8 p.m. today and tomorrow. So there's another 48 hours for that. And I don't know if anyone saw the queue, even just for that yesterday, round the block. I think it just shows the depth, the breadth of feeling that there was, not just for Diogo Jota as a player, but also as a person, because we'll have all have watched them, won't we, over this weekend, the various interviews, the skits, they had all the things he did. And it's okay, as I say this, to think it may well have brought a little smile to your face, just seeing some of those, a little grain of comfort. It's okay to say that at the same time before any grief hits again. And I mean, as the official sites put out, I mean, it is heartbreak, isn't it, some of the scenes, but just the respect, the tribute, everything that you see in at Anfield, and also from all ages. I know a couple of people that have been down to Anfield to lay the respect, some my age, and we feel it. Some of them I know have got kids who had a family like young Diogo. They will feel it as well. Of course they will. But also seeing people of an older generation than me, that, you know, the heartbreak in their faces, but also young kids who would have idolized Diogo Jota. Yeah, the scenes are, I don't even know what the right word exactly is for it, but the outpouring of love, the outpouring of emotion from so many is just clear to see. And tributes do come in from the wider world, don't they? Even, you know, players that we love. Sadio Mane, he did his. We talked about this before, so I don't want to sort of go through it too much. But Ruben Neves, you saw the reaction he had. João Cancelo, and the scenes from the funeral this weekend, and all the current Reds, all the former Reds, current members of the backroom staff, former members of the backroom staff. It's just been absolutely clear how much it's hit them. And the big thing to say it for now is everyone needs to look after each other. We've got to remember that. We play a part in this. Us Reds have got to make sure we're checking in on our mates, see how they're doing, try and help us get through it as best as possible together. The players, the staff, make no mistake about it, they're going to need us more than ever. There's going to be, there is different personalities in that dressing room, and it will hit some differently than others. There's nothing wrong with saying that. What the club I know will do is wrap their arms around all those players, make sure, they're thinking about their well-being, everything, around them, what's right for those players as well. And it's our job to show that love, that support, even at these times, for the players. Try and support each other through it, as everyone will do. I mean, when we talk about different tributes, I think it is important to say as well, a bit of a shout out for the Ev on this, and a few people that you saw Everton and Liverpool as a city unites in these worst conditions, doesn't it? And that, they laid the wreath with the captain, members of staff. But I'm sure you might have seen a report about Seamus Coleman as well, didn't he? He came down late one night, and I think someone tweeted it. I think I saw that it was close to midnight and people recognized him, but it was like, no social media. This is not about any sort of clout, and it's about doing what's right. And I think just the example that just shows what that club is about. Its sort of beliefs, its ethos, its mannerisms, and also it just shows what an absolute class act the Everton Football Club is at the same time. And I always think back to, this is so many years ago, but I was in the ground when, if we remember, young Reece was tragically murdered, and it was the game against Toulouse, and Z-Cars was played over the speakers over whatever, the mainstream at Anfield before the game, and many of us were just in bits. That was hard. And it shouldn't also be forgotten that it was Tony Barrett, who was a reporter who is now head of the media side at Liverpool. He was the one that put that suggestion forward. So when we're talking about the staff and, the depth of feeling, that they would, be clear, as much as it hits us, it will hit them in a different way at the same time. So yeah, I know it will be a tough week still, and an element of how are we carrying on. And I hope, speaking of wrapping their arms around them, that people do for these boys, because as was tweeted there last night, there has been a slight delay. Liverpool are set to start their pre-season schedule now on Tuesday. There's no decision on if the Preston North End friendly, which is scheduled for this Friday, will go ahead yet. And it won't be until after players and staff are consulted. And Preston North End are planning tributes to Diogo Jota if Liverpool fulfill the fixture. I genuinely am not sure. That's me clicking at the wrong button there. Sorry about that, ladies and gents. I generally don't know clearly yet about this, what is going to happen with the rest of pre-season. It's completely right that they're evaluating players on a a game-by-game basis, a day-by-day basis. And when I say game-by-game, please, if it's even right to play it with their welfare absolutely paramount and at the head of everything. I might be wrong on this, but I don't know how the players are going to react. I'm not sure I'm saying this. There might be some that thinking, want to, try and get back to normal, fight for Diogo as much as possible. That there isn't a right or wrong. Different people will have different ideas on this, but more than anything, Liverpool, as we know, will do the right thing by those players. Yeah, so we'll await for more announcements on that. And I get at the same time, ladies and gents, it may be a case of, I know some of my Liverpool mates were just yesterday started to talk a little bit about what was going on in the football world, and there's almost was a semblance of it. You could hear it even in text there, the tone that was coming through, or WhatsApp, whatever messages. Am I wrong? Am I being uncivilized, uncouth, whatever you want to say, by messaging about football world? But I get it. People are different. There's no set script. There's no set time in these situations. That even one of my mates late last night was just messaging me and saying, "We've seen Arsenal's business. It looks like they're going to go for Gyökeres and something else." I wasn't really paying too much attention, I'll be honest. But he then messaged back and said, "Sorry, I should." It's like, I'm not sure I needed to say sorry. If it distracted his mind, if it helped him cope, it's not about right or wrong. It's a saying that's thrown out there too often, but we do need to be a bit kind to each other at the moment. And I understand there'll be people who say, "No, I can't move on." I also get there were people saying, maybe trying to sort of think about other things helps them. It ain't about right or wrong. It's about supporting your mates, being kind, trying to be as understanding as possible. I don't know what it'll be like when they come back. I don't know how they'll do. I generally, like me, I don't know how they'll fully cope with it. But when they do come back, all at this club, the fan base, everyone, just need to wrap their arms around them. We need to show them that we love, we support them. There is memory. Of course, there's a memory there, and nothing's more important than that. But yeah, we will do our best, won't we? So just a reminder there, if you are going down to Anfield and making that trip, that book of condolences is still open, 9 a.m, 8 p.m. today and Tuesday at the same time as well. To be honest, bar what's happening, there's nothing really in our Liverpool minds at all, quite understandably and quite rightly. It's Monday the 7th of July. If this has given anyone any sort of solace, grain of comfort, measure of anything, that is all I can hope for. But that was Newsround for Anfield Index.